You know why I did that because we've been in Brotherhood for the last 2 years, and I kind of love moments from the original series like that one. So I haven't really done much from the original series in a long time. So you're very sweet to ask for that, Livy. Thank you. Who's got a question over here?
Hi.
Hi.
I had a question. Could you do your favorite Tamaki line from around high school?
Well, my favorite line is kind of perverted. That's what we want. Oh, there's so many, I love so many lines. Tamaki, just about anything Tamaki says, I love. But one of my favorites, of course, and mostly because I don't have to yell when I say it, is, what if I let you drink this coffee? From my mouth. Okay, now, I challenge somebody to actually have a question as opposed to a line. Yes, who's got a question? Have somebody ready over here, and we'll go back and forth, okay?
Hi.
Hi, cutie.
Hi. Oh, I'm cute. I think I'm cute.
You're sitting by Rinry.
Oh, no. I have a twin. Here, this is my twin.
Hello, twin.
Hi, Riley. And,
You guys ever do the Itachi
you know,
programs?
I told her I wanted to do it. We were planning on doing it probably next year.
You totally should. What's your question, sweetie?
I wanted to know if...
Oh, don't shake. It's fine. We're friends. Here, this'll help. See, doesn't that like loosen it up, right? No, I broke the tension. I feel better now. Would you like to feel even better?
Yes.
Come here.
Actually, wondering if...
What's your question, sweetie?
If I could get a hug from you, because you really inspire me so much.
Here, everybody gets hugged. You guys are so sweet. Question over there.
Hi.
Hi there.
I have a question, and I also have a gift for you.
Uh-oh.
I'll give you the gift after you've answered my question, though. As a voice actor, what was the hardest thing about breaking into the business? Because it's kind of a life goal of mine to do what you do, because your work inspires me, Vic.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You know what? There is no amount of money that I could ever be paid that would take the place of that kind of comment, because you know, I'm not as young as you might think. And as I get older, you guys, I feel more and more a desire to make some kind of a positive impact. You know, there are some people that get into some kind of an entertainment business and they're young, and they're, you know, like their 20s or something. They feel like they're invincible. You know, they're immortal, and it's a big rock star kind of a joyride, right? But as I've gotten older and been in this business for a while, and I get so many emails from people expressing sentiments of, you know, something that you said at a convention, or something from a particular show, or something that I read, or some video I saw, made such a big difference in my life when I was at a very specific moment, a difficult time, or a crossroads in my life. And that's priceless to me. There is nothing that I love more than to feel like I had some small part in helping people in their lives. So thank you for saying that so much. And as far as your question, breaking into the business, you guys, I gotta tell you something. I was really unusually blessed because when I started in anime, you could barely call it a business. It was a very small, little fledgling subculture of people that liked this particular thing. And it was so small that it was kind of easy and random that I got into it. I was working on a video production in Houston, Texas, and the guy that I was working with said, "Hey, you got a lot of background in acting, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I mean, I've been doing stage and musicals and theater like my whole life, since I was like 6. And he said, "You should go and audition for this place in town. they buy these Japanese shows, these animated shows, and they dub them into English, and they need actors. Now, who would ever imagine that you would hear something like that in Houston, Texas, right? You think LA, you think maybe New York, but Houston? So I was like, wow, that sounds fun. Not, how much does it pay? Just, that sounds fun. So I went and auditioned, and I got cast. And I didn't know what would ever come of it. At the time, I didn't even know what happened to these videos once we made them. I didn't know, like, when we finish this, I mean, who buys it? And like, where do they sell it? I knew nothing about whatever happened to it when we finished. And then finally I got invited to an anime convention, which I didn't even know existed. When I was a little boy, I went to Star Trek conventions and Star Wars conventions. And I knew about those, right? I mean, I put on my best Captain Kirk uniform and I went to those. I didn't even know they had anime conventions. And I got there and I was like, oh my gosh. That guy, he's dressed like Kugashi from Sayuki. And that guy over there, he's dressed like Kurt Schweber from Full Metal Panic. And oh my gosh, oh, look at this wall scroll. It's from such and such. And oh my gosh, here's the video of the show I did. And they want me to sign it. And I was like, I was overwhelmed. Because I had no idea that even existed. And then anime just exploded. And it was everywhere. And I say this, and I'm not turning this into a church service, but I am not going to refuse to say what I believe. And that is, I give God all the credit for that, because I didn't plan it. I'm telling you guys, I'm being honest with you. I didn't plan it, I didn't seek it out, I didn't make it happen. I just kind of walked through this door. I literally, stumbled through this door. I had no idea what I was getting into. And it has become the greatest gift and the greatest blessing of my life. So I make sure and give credit where credit is due. But my experience is very different than now. Because since anime has become so big, it's a lot more difficult to get into. There are a lot of people that are interested in being involved in it, you know? It's kind of like rock and roll. Back in the days when rock and roll was first getting started, if you could even half carry a tune, you'd get on the radio because they were looking for rock and roll music. Well, now you listen to some of those bands, you're like, holy moly, they wouldn't even book a nightclub in my city. They're like, oh, they're not that good, but they were in the right place at the right time. And they became like legendary, you know? And so I am so grateful to have gotten in on this business when I did. All I would encourage you to do is develop your skills as an actor and always look for those open doors and be ready to walk through if you get one, because you never know what's on the other side, you know?
Oh, and I have a gift for you.
Oh my gosh, you don't have to. What is from? He's life-size too. Thank you. Oh my gosh, he's so cute.
The zippers on the back of his coat and everything, and he has a watch chain.
Oh my gosh, he has a little chain where his pocket watch is. Oh my gosh, I love him. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Okay, we're going back and forth, so who's next over here? Who's got the mic?
I do.
Hi, sweetie.
Hi.
Little feedback there. Can we pull that down?
Apparently he may not like the question. He's seen you before I haven't, so
okay.
My friend Danny wanted me to ask you about the donut story.
Well, it's not that it's a bad question, it's just that you can have it answered by 1,500 videos on YouTube, that's all. In a nutshell... Sorry, I saw another maca. I got excited.
Oh my God.
Well, that's true. What's your name, sweetie?
I'm Kirsty.
Kirsty? Okay, here's the donut story in a nutshell, in a donut, if you will. I was doing an episode where Edward got punched in the face, and his face swelled up. And as soon as I saw his cute little face with a bump on his cheek, I'm like, Oh my gosh, that's so adorable. He should sound different. He should sound like his jaw is kind of swollen. So I asked the director if I could take 5 minutes, and I ran down to the vending machine room in Funimation, and I bought some donuts. The little powdered sugar ones. The little tiny ones. And they fit in your mouth perfectly. Just one of them, boom, right in the cheek. Like chewing tobacco or something. And so I put one in there, and I jumped back in the booth, and I started recording. And the problem was that I didn't realize how long I was going to have to do this. Because nobody looked ahead, you know, for all I know. There's just 2 lines when he's got the swollen mouth, and then you're on to something else. But I put it in there, and it was like pages and pages of end of the swollen mouth. And donuts, they're not meant to hold in your cheek. They're meant to chew up and go, yummy, and swallow. And I didn't want to swallow because I needed it for the sound. So suffice it to say, it got extremely gross and messy. So I don't eat powdered sugar donuts anymore. I eat the chocolate covered ones though. Question. Over here. Who's got the mic over here? On the other side. Hi.
Hi. I've been meaning to ask this, and I forgot to ask this at Montreal Comic Con you were at months ago.
You were in Montreal?
Yeah.
Awesome. What's your question, my dear?
What gave you the idea for the WOW commercial?
You know what gave me the idea? That girl right there. Mandy called me one day and she said, "Hey, you're a big Star Trek fan, right?" And I'm like, "You know it, Shaw." And she goes, "Have you seen William Shatner's World of Warcraft commercial?" And I said, "What's World of Warcraft? And where can I see this commercial?" So she sent me a link to the commercial. And I thought it was so funny. And then I clicked on a couple of the other links and I saw like the Mr. T one and, you know, the different ones. And I was thinking, man, you know, all they're doing is standing in front of a white, they're just in a plain white room. And then they cut to some in-game footage, but they're just standing in a white room. And Mandy said to me, "You should make a World of Warcraft commercial." And I looked at it from a production standpoint because I do a lot of production as well. In fact, my college degree is actually in film. So I do a lot of shooting and directing and editing. And I looked at it and I'm like, you know, this would be really easy to do. And Mandy's brother played World of Warcraft and he was an undead warlock. And so she got him to capture the in-game footage. Oh, you did it? I'm sorry. She played it so she could find these shots and she captured the in-game footage for me. And then we wrote the script together. And then I literally went to a little studio, a little production studio, a video studio in Houston, that a friend of mine that I worked with owned. And he had literally I set up a piece of white paper and I stood in front of it and nobody else was there. I set the camera up, like, you know, I'd get the camera angle all ready. And then I'd come out in front and I'd go, "Hi, I'm Vic Mignogna, and I'm a warlock." And then I changed the angle. I'm a powerful caster of destructive energy. And I just did the whole thing by myself. Could you imagine how stupid I must have looked? If somebody would have like walked in and I'm there making it. So anyway, I put that together myself just for fun. And the funniest thing is, a couple of weeks ago, you guys, I had an audition for World of Warcraft. And the woman that took my audition, I said, "Would you pass a link on to the Blizzard people that you're working with?" And she's like, "Sure, what is it?" And I sent her this link to the World of Warcraft commercial that I did, basically saying, "Hey, look, I've been giving you guys free advertisement for 3 years." So yeah, so one of my little personal goals is to be a part of World of Warcraft at some point, just to say I did. So, yes, over here. Who's got the? Oh wait a minute. Yeah, we were here and now here. Who's got a question?